So I have my dogs out already. I want to see his reaction when he realizes they're out here. Aslan. But he hasn't realized yet because he's not paying attention. He thinks we're training, which is kind of awesome. Yeah, so we realized it was a dog. Finally. So I want you to see his hard stares. That's kind of why I'm doing this video. We have a foster dog in there, so ignore him barking, I'm sorry, in the background. So this is just, he's not stiff, he's interested, he wants to see what's going on, but he's not, you know, being aggressive at this point. Cash Money. I'll call Cash up because I want him to realize it's the same dog. Cash. So see how his mouth closes? Cash, Cash. That hard staring, the mouth closed, is not like great body language. He's hard staring at Cash. Wanted to kind of walk you through this to know what you need to step in with when you're interacting, when you're having structured interaction between him and Winston. These are the kinds of things you're gonna have to look for and correct some of this stuff because he just doesn't know any better. I don't think he's necessarily like dog aggressive. Cash, Cash. Hey, Money. So again, watch his face change. Cowboy. So this hard staring is not cool. I have a healing stick with me, so I'm going to let them interact, but I'm going to create space with this. I'm not going to whack him. It is, just so you know, it's super flexible. Like I'm, I'll let my dog finish pooping. And we're going to see how it goes, but I'm not going to allow any of the kind of crappy staring behaviors. Cash, Cash. Good job. Good boy. Good job, Cowboy. Good boy. Yeah, good job. All right. So I'm going to give it a go. If it doesn't go well, we'll see. So it's kind of rude. All right, off porch. Again, I'm making space. I'm going to watch the interactions. This boy. Good job. Good girl, Aslan. This is my female. She really don't take any shit. So, I love her, but she doesn't. She's very soft, but if she tries to get mounted or any of those things, she's not. Aslan. So I'm going to call her back because I don't like all that congestion. Aslan. Good girl. Interactions with him. So rude, but not aggressive, right? Again, I do have this in my hand. If I need to create some space between dogs, I can. So you can see here how rude that was because Cash has what we call piloerection. So it's this back of his fluke is up because it was a rude interaction. And it made him nervous. So every interaction he's made with all these dogs, Zeus, come on, let's get down. Good boy. See how mine are kind of avoiding him? And mine aren't like that in general. Good boy. So it tells me a lot about his body language, right? It's because my dogs are much more soft, except Cash. He will challenge. So I just want to watch and see how that goes. I'm gonna zoom out some. Again, I have this in my hand. So if we need to create, like, actually put them in between, I can create space that way. Just a rude boy. Cowboy, come on. I will probably separate Zeus out of this in a minute because he is reaching his limit on, he's an older man. He's just not having it. but I just do want you to see he can be around other dogs. It's I do have a huge inkling that it is around resources that's a problem, and right now there's no resources outside, right? So we can't have like free roaming toys and Kongs thrown in the middle of the floor and high arousal situations, right? Because I just don't think that's going to go well with your two dogs because they have history of getting in a scuffle, right? Good boy. Thank you for letting him sniff. Being very tolerant. I appreciate it. Good boy. So I put them in the smaller yard. We have a bigger fencing yard, obviously, but put them in the smaller space so I can control this a little bit better. So if there is a scuffle, I can step in. Because this is the first time we've done a lot of dragging leashes and walking by with my dogs, but not off leash like this, right? So I wanted you to kind of see this before he goes home, that it is doable. You're just going to have a lot more management on your end. And I say management, I don't mean keeping him in a crate, but I do mean management as in some pre-planning before people get there. Let's put him behind the gate because he struggles with over-arousal. He just does. And we can work on that in terms of continuing that at home for, so even this, right? Kind of standing over cash. It's just rude. It's just rude. And this is with a dog like his size, right? Oh, boys. Zeus will growl and check him. So, trying to see that interaction. Good boy, Zeus. Good job. Aslan, can you come down here? Come on, let's go. See how he blocks other dogs? Again, a very rude behavior. With two males, it can be perceived as aggression, right? Like the beginning stages of escalating to full-on aggression. Aslan, I know he stresses you out. I'm sorry. Come on, see how nervous she looks. She's like, ugh, this dude is rude. Aslan, come on, girl. Aslan. I know, I'm asking a whole lot, you old lady. So see how intense he is and like runs in front of her, cutting him off. Like all of his interactions are just not great, right? That he's testing what he can and can't do with Zeus because Zeus is growling at him. He's telling him to get out of my face. So, but I just wanted a more in-depth. So Zeus growled at him there to correct him. I'm like, hey, you've been in my rear area too long. Cowboy. Cowboys. So checking her and blocking her. Rude. Very, very, very rude. See how much tension she's got? She's like, ooh, I don't really love that. And he's going to block her again. I'm going to correct that this time. Because that is giving him some space. Thank you. That's what I mean about having something so you're not sticking your hands in the middle of and making things worse at times. So again, rude. He's go. Nope. Go. No. He's crowding her in the corner, right? See how he blocks everything and everybody? That's the kind of precursor stuff that, and I'm being blunt, this should have been addressed at a younger age. You're going to struggle with it now as an adult, but all that rude puppy stuff, he didn't get a lot of socialization with other dogs other than probably the dogs in your house and maybe the ones at Zoom Room, but he struggles a lot more on a leash because there's this build-up. I think he has slight issues with leash activities. I'm saying that jokingly. We had baths today, so there's like hair tufts everywhere. But see, just rude. Zeus is growling, low growling, but telling him, hey, that's not really cool. So he's trying to get better and learn, but I just want you to see that he's not dog aggressive. He just needs a little bit better rules and boundaries with interactions with other dogs. And it also helps that my dogs are super used to this. and super stable, right? But if your dog, Winston, I think it's Winston, right? The bulldog. Hey, leave it alone. Go. I don't know what we're checking out, but if they buck up at each other, or if he low growls, or if Winston does what he did when, I know there's a piece of food, you see it? Yeah, there you go. If he does what he did, what Winston did when I saw him at the console, he came in and kind of like hard stared at Cowboy right to start with. Those are the interactions that we're going to have to manage, right? We can't just let it go and let them fight it out, or let them like figure it out on their own, because that's when you get dogs with rings, right? So all these little micro interactions are the things that for a while, when he first gets back home, are going to have to be very, very managed. And if you can't watch them at all times, then they don't get to be. So I'm going to watch this because Cash can't, do anything for himself right now. He's pooping. So I'm walking over to prevent any unnecessary crowding if he needed to do that. But when he comes home, what in the world? Oh, I'll wave this. I'm sorry. I may scare you. My bad. I really want the interactions to be monitored, right? Because if we're going to continue to allow all these little, like, rude behaviors, staring at each other, cutting each other off, it's just going to escalate from there. And I need the folks in the house to, anybody who is watching, to watch them closely. And even if, we're human, right? We have times where we want to have some breaks. If you can't watch them, it's kind of like kids, right? If you can't watch them, like, you put them in the playpen, or you take a break, or put him for a nap, or whatever the case is. Same for him. I want very high management the first 2 weeks. So like that. Not cool. That's not cool at all. Some of this is him just being a more dominant dog. Zeus, I can't see what's going on. Thank you. He's just a more dominant dog. You got a mix that's going to be tough, right? But it's doable. I just want you to understand the steps and the level of management that's going to need for a little while. It's not forever, but probably the resources being everywhere is probably going to be forever. Even for this guy, as great as he is, I love him. But he cannot have toys and Kongs and bones with my other dogs here, because if he were and I walked out of the room, he would guard them from them, right? And it would be a big problem. Good boy, you're doing a good job. So there are some things you just know that they can only get toys and treats and Kongs and things like that when they have separated fence time. I know you got hair in your face, buddy. See how rude this is? And he's almost kind of picking a fight there. Hey, cut that out. No, that's what I mean about my dog's not going to react, right? But any other dog that has any level of dominance, I'm assuming Winston is a bulldog, right? Like every other bulldog I've met. That's going to escalate into a fight. And so that's what I mean about like the management and things like that. So we can talk about it more at drop off. I just wanted a more in-depth video for you to kind of show you what I mean about dog interactions. And you have hair on your nose, babe. I'm sorry. This is my boy Zeus. This is Cowboy. This is the Cowboys. Yeah. Aslan's like, I had nothing to do with that. Nope. And then this is Cash. This is my boy Cash. But yeah, he's doing such a good job. We're working on everything we can. See what I mean about him kind of just rushing into other dogs' face and cutting them off. None of my dogs do that. He's just kind of a ratty dog. I love him. I do. Or I want to work with you. But he is a little adolescent ratty male. So, just giving you a quick rundown.